My name is Tandra Fraser, and I'm a soil microbiologist at the Charlottetown Research and Development Center. I look at soil biology, different microbes and soil animals that live in the soil. I grew up on a farm in Saskatchewan, actually, and I started out working at an agriculture and agri-food research center in Swift Current. And so I've been here now for 7 years. I moved to Prince Edward Island to work in this position. We use microscopes to look at some of the organisms in the soil, but the ones that we can't actually see or identify that way, we extract DNA from the soil and we use sequencing to look at these. I love my job. It's constantly changing. We always have new research projects. We need to be changing with the times, but also with the seasons. We're testing a lot of biological products that are on the market where we don't have regional data. So we're trying to get that information out to the farmers so that they know if they're buying a product that it's actually working in their crop.
So my name is Christine Nerona. I'm an entomologist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in Charlottetown. So I developed different techniques to control insect pests that could reduce the amount of pesticides that are being sprayed. We also identify insects for the general public, give them some recommendations of how to control these, maybe in their houses during the winter or in their gardens. Several years ago, we had a big problem with wireworms, and they're these worms that live in the ground for 5 years and they feed on potatoes. They do so much damage that you cannot harvest your potatoes or wouldn't be able to sell their potatoes. So we did a study where we looked at rotation crops. So we used buckwheat and mustard, and we grew these crops in the field. In growers' fields, we were doing this trial actually in growers' fields so they could also see what we were doing. And it worked really, really well. Because it worked so well, the growers started implementing it and population started decreasing. We were really happy with the results. Growers were happy with the results, and I love working here. It's been such a pleasure all this 25 years. We have such a great team here, not only at our center, but also the industry as well.
And I'm a weed scientist here at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada's Charlottetown Research Center. I study weeds, so mainly the agricultural weeds, all of the things that farmers don't want in their fields. Try and learn about how to better control them, more of their biology, different management practices, and how they fit into the whole agro-ecosystem to try and develop more sustainable and long-term weed management practices for our producers. In terms of what we actually do, we'll oftentimes plant our crops and then apply some sort of treatment and then evaluate that throughout the season and monitor what kind of impact it had, not only on the weeds, but also on the crop. A lot of my work has been on cover crops, and so we've seen more and more adoption of cover crops and different cover crop species. We've taken all of a weed science and a weed management aspect to it, but we see a lot of those being implemented and taken up by producers. So that's really the goal of everything that we do here is to try and get it in the hands of producers to limit the impact that weeds have on their crop production systems.
I'm Dan McCachran. I'm a research biologist here at the Charlottetown Research and Development Center, and I oversee our variety testing and plant breeding program. Right now we're at the Harrington Research Farm. It's part of the Charlottetown Research and Development Center. It was originally called the Experimental Farm. It was developed back in 1909, and at that time was developed because there was a need for varieties and research targeted for Atlantic Canada. So the Harrington Farm is 800 acres in size. We have approximately 30 employees out here. There's about 110 employees total here at the center. So about 600 acres is devoted to farming and research. The other 200 acres is woodland.
My name is Judith Nyiraneza, and I'm a soil scientist with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in Charlottetown. And my research is about identifying management practices that enhance soil health. The Living Lab Atlantic has two main issues it's addressing. So the first one is to enhance water quality and enhance soil health. So more specifically, as a soil scientist, We are testing different soil breeding management practices. And those management practices include using the cover cropping, the manure use, and conservation tillage.
I'm Rick Peters, and I'm a research scientist here with Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada in Charlottetown. And my specialty is plant pathology, mainly working on vegetable crops like potatoes and carrots and the diseases of those crops. Across Canada, we have 19 research sites like the one here in Prince Edward Island. This is our only site here on the island, but across the nation, we do have facilities that address the range of agricultural production that we see here in Canada.
We have 16 different work groups here on the farm, each one specializing in a specific area of research. So we have soil researchers, we have entomologists, we have cropping specialists, agronomy specialists, pathologists, chemists, weed scientists. We're a very diverse research center covering a lot of different research topics. This is my dream job and dream place to work. It's fantastic.